Welcome to Guaranteed Lifetime Income, the 90% Retirement Income Factors. This thought-provoking session covers the growing interest in guaranteed lifetime income and the opportunity for advisors and clients to build a personalized pension program. Attendees will learn what guaranteed income means to aging Canadians, especially guaranteed lifetime income, why it's important to them, and how much they need or want. What's the role of the advisor? What are the 90% factors? What are the options for pensionizing personal assets? I'm Peter Wouters. Join me on this trip to get some answers to these questions and then leave with some tangible ideas of the retirement income market opportunity and some income solutions that meet the criteria set by today's aging Canadians. This document, of course, reflects the views of Empire Life as of the date published. It is for general information purposes. It is not to be construed as providing legal, tax, financial, or professional advice. And of course, the Empire Life Insurance Company assumes no responsibility for any reliance or misuse or omissions of the information contained in this document. I will be referring to some products, but for detailed information of those products, particularly individual variable insurance contracts, refer to the information folder for the product being considered. What are you covering off today? Well, fall is often referred to as income season or RIF season, registered retirement income season, since older clients begin to think about moving their registered retirement savings plans over to a registered retirement income fund. And in general, they start to take an income from their investments at this time of year or set up their affairs now to begin income payments in January. In keeping with that theme, today we're going to touch on the opportunities in the income market and highlight the income solutions offered through Empire Life. Conversely, I could say that January and February are often referred to as registered retirement savings plan season, since clients think about contributing to a registered retirement savings plan or topping up contributions they have made over the previous year to maximize eligible contributions. It falls on the heels of income season, or what you call RIF season, when older clients think about moving their registered retirement savings plan over to a registered retirement income fund, and in general set up their investments to begin taking out an income. As we sit here, it should be almost the other way around, considering these two sessions and these two seasons are back to back. That said, it makes sense to plan ahead with where clients are putting their money to optimize their opportunities when they eventually and systematically take out their money. And today we're going to touch on the opportunities in the income market and highlight again income solutions offered through Empire Life Insurance Company and in some cases the Empire Life Investment Company. We'll be covering off guaranteed lifetime income, the what, the why, and the how much, the role of the advisor. We'll go over the 90% retirement income factors and what they mean and why they're so important, and I will discuss some options for pensionizing personal assets. The interest in guaranteed lifetime income and its importance to aging Canadians is growing rapidly. 2/3 of people aged 55 to 75 like the idea of guaranteed lifetime income, and 80% of Canadians see it as a highly valuable supplement to government benefits. 45% of those with financial assets over $100,000, only 45% are highly confident of their ability to maintain their standard of living in retirement. Now, this value held by Canadians is in addition to government-sponsored plans. There are gender differences as well. For instance, 1/3 of women are highly concerned about being able to maintain their standard of living in retirement, and almost 4 out of 10 women fret about long-term care expenses in old age. These figures are almost double those for men. All of the figures I've just quoted came from the 2018 Canadian Guaranteed Lifetime Income Study. Now, all of this is understandable when you consider that women live longer than men, and a higher proportion of elderly women live alone and in poverty. Although people are living much longer, they are not necessarily working longer or able or willing to work longer. That leads to a longer time frame for people to be financially independent and feel comfortable that they can keep that up. They require more resources that will last longer to cover all of their fixed and variable or lifestyle expenses. What do Canadians want in terms of pension plan style retirement plan features? On a scale of 1 to 10, Here are the average rankings of the top 5 features that Canadians want. And this came from a study entitled Designing Retirement Schemes Canadians Want back in 2017. Again, here are the top 5. 1. I want a retirement income that is guaranteed to last my entire lifetime. 2. I want a retirement income that is predictable. 3. I also want retirement income that keeps pace with inflation. 4. I want a pension or retirement savings plan that will provide income if I'm forced to retire earlier than planned. And 5. I want an income that does not fluctuate with investment results. Guaranteed lifetime income. What is your why? Or if you're an advisor, what is your client's why? This becomes an important value-added approach for you as advisors. Find out each client's why, and then figure out how much. So why more guaranteed lifetime income? Well, average life expectancy has been increasing to the late 80s for men and women who have already reached the age of 65. Remember, too, that life expectancy measures the point where half the people have passed away. The other half will live longer. Living longer costs more. Maintaining health, recuperating from health setbacks, and dealing with health issues cost more too. And that adds to the ongoing fear of outliving their money. Fewer and fewer aging Canadians have defined benefit pension plans through work. And all of these factors come from Statistics Canada, new facts on pension coverage in Canada, as well as Canada's Department of Finance backgrounder on the Canada Pension Plan and enhancements made to that plan, the drivers for addressing these particular issues. Market volatility and contributing factors to make guaranteed lifetime income more appealing, especially to cover regular fixed expenses. Well, there's an increasing onus on individuals to ensure that they structure their long-term assets in such a way that they do have sustainable, secure income through the various stages of retirement, and that the income flow is guaranteed, freeing up their worries, the worries of their partners, and their children, and those who may need to step in and manage these aging Canadians' affairs due to the aging Canadians becoming incapacitated or unable to take care of themselves. Why else? Why more guaranteed lifetime income? Aging individuals are faced with increasing complexity involved in coordinating an increasing number of potential income sources, which may come in at different times. They're taxed differently. There are different levels of guarantees, if in fact there are guarantees at all. There are varying degrees of flexibility, and they involve different levels of involvement by people. Some can be on autopilot, but some require a lot of hands-on management. Coupled with that is the factor that the stakes can get higher, and those higher stakes can occur later in life when there may be little or no opportunity to recuperate from losses in assets. One challenge is keeping up with the requisite financial knowledge to make ongoing, informed decisions that support the priorities and values of those people as they age. People are also subjected to acronyms and jargon that add to the confusion, making them feel ignorant or ill-informed, and frankly, turn them off. There's also the reality of dealing with blended families where individuals come into a relationship with established and perhaps conflicting ideas and experiences with finances. Add this to the different priorities and timelines. Why do aging Canadians want guaranteed lifetime income? It's easier for them to maintain their lifestyle. It simplifies their financial management, and it allows them to focus on their lifestyle. It also makes it easier for family or caregivers to manage when these aging Canadians become incapacitated. Elders do not want to be a burden on their children, if they have any children. Health, mobility, and cognitive issues can impede people's ability to access financial services and make financial decisions, to act on them promptly, and be protected from financial exploitation, from elder abuse, and fraud as they age. Social isolation, loss of control, and independence are key worries that plague aging Canadians. So having a certain amount of guaranteed lifetime income or cash flow coming in to handle regular or fixed expenses simplifies the lives of aging Canadians and the family members who may need to step in and help manage their finances while juggling their own financial affairs in their complicated lives. And complicating all of this are the realities that these things affect different people in different ways, to different degrees, and at different times in their lives. So people need to plan and be prepared for the unexpected. The Financial Life Stages of Older Canadians report found that 6 in 10 Canadians aged 50 and over experienced a major life event that challenged their prior financial plans. The problem is, with all of the stuff I've just said, most aging Canadians don't have a retirement plan. They don't have a retirement income plan, and they may have little desire to actively and consistently engage. In fact, less than 1 in 5 aging Canadians have a retirement income plan. Let's look at Ontarians for an example. Investors Office 2017 Investing as We Age report found that only 14% of Ontarians aged 45 and over had a formal written retirement plan, and over half had no plan at all. Most leave it too long, devote comparatively little time to the process, and then have all of these worries that are plaguing them and plaguing their families as well. We live in pretty complicated times, and something I've said for decades is that in complicated times, I've found that people want simple solutions to complicated problems. People highly value simplicity, quality, peace of mind, and predictability. This is even more important for women, especially aging women. And how you position and name solutions make a difference to your clients. They may help or hinder your success in presenting strategies and products that meet their expectations. Research shows that 70% of guaranteed lifetime income product owners are satisfied with them, and 60% consider guaranteed income products to be highly important to their financial security. But 41% were less interested if the product was labeled as an income annuity or a segregated fund. This despite the fact that 41% of the population that was surveyed is unfamiliar with income annuities, and 2/3 of them didn't know what a segregated funds were. So they don't like them, but they don't know what they are. And maybe therein lies the answer: to increase their financial literacy. And that would do well for the people that don't have them. It would also do well for the people that do. When only 70% of guaranteed lifetime income product owners are satisfied with them, there are unknowns that they have in these products. They might be more satisfied if they truly understood how and where these products fit and what the benefits and advantages were of these products to deal with certain aspects of their financial lives. One takeaway then is to spend more time and attention on what these products can do for the clients than on what they are. Focus on the application, the benefits, and the advantages first, and then reveal the product used. The study also found that 1 in 5 respondents owned income annuities or segregated funds. There's a massive opportunity here, but it also begs the question of how well advisors really understand these products and the strategies that use them. We can certainly help there. So what's the role of advisors? The Senior Strategy Report released in 2018 cited a study that found that women aged 65 and older had the lowest financial knowledge scores out of women of any age group, and that men aged 65 and older had the lowest financial knowledge scores out of men of any age group other than 18 to 24-year-olds. The scary thing is that people aged 65 and over were more likely to say that they have a good or excellent understanding of investing compared to those ages 45 to 64, and men feel more optimistic about this than women. Women don't feel as financially literate as men do. They are more likely to seek financial counsel. They tend to be quite loyal once relationships have been established. The big issues are that, one, most advisors view women as being treated the same as men. We'll treat them exactly the same. Well, that's not true. It doesn't work. And number two, less than 50% of women are confident in the quality of advice that they get from their advisor, whether that advisor is male or female. Julie Littlechild, the founder of Absolute Engagement, found that 67% of women feel misunderstood by their advisors. Eventually, they switch advisors. She shared these statistics and others from a study shared at the 2018 Canadian Life and Health Insurance Association's Wealth and Retirement Conference that I attended. Many advisors are not focused on this area, and many are not properly equipped to effectively and properly deal with retirement income planning, which is a distinct discipline from retirement planning. It doesn't help that guidance from regulators and the law haven't kept up with all of these things that I've covered here. But it's coming. Consider action plans set up in Ontario, Quebec, and New Brunswick in the appointment of a national financial literacy leader in the Financial Consumer Agency of Canada. This points out a key role of advisors, namely to provide meaningful, relevant, and actionable education and information. And again, we can help with appropriate best practices. Where's the focus? For 75% of respondents that were involved in the 2018 Guaranteed Lifetime Income Study, for 75% who work with advisors, their retirement income discussions focused on dividend and interest paying investments and asset withdrawals. Do these strategies generate lifetime guaranteed income? Almost 8 out of 10 Canadians are satisfied with the financial advice that they received. So on that basis, you think, well, there's nothing to worry about here. Maybe the 20%, but by and large, the industry is doing a pretty good job. That's what you would assume from looking at that statistic. And more than 7 out of 10 Canadians believe that financial advisors have a responsibility to discuss guaranteed lifetime income. That said, less than a third had a guaranteed lifetime income conversation with their advisor. Clients expect advisors to inform them about guaranteed lifetime retirement income options. The majority of advisors continue to be focused on wealth accumulation strategies, and they believe and act like the strategies and behaviors that help build wealth to retirement can be used and or used the same way when deploying retirement income strategies. These are grossly mistaken beliefs, as my sessions on retirement myths and conventional approaches to rules of thumb demonstrate. Here's what we know. Most advisors don't have the discussion about guaranteed lifetime income, and a failure to discuss is a catalyst to switch advisors and will become an even bigger issue for advisors and firms if not addressed. Now let's move to the 50% factors. You may be thinking insurance-based investments and specifically segregated funds. Yeah, so what? You're an insurance company. You work for an insurance company. Naturally, you favor them, but what else is in it for advisors? These survey results about financial advice and insurance-based products should pique your interest in learning more and incorporating these products in active, ongoing discussions with clients. Of those households who don't own segregated funds, less than 21% would highly recommend their advisor to someone else. Yet if those households did own segregated funds, the percentage of households who would recommend their advisor to someone else jumps to almost 30%. Of those same households who own segregated funds, there's less than 11% chance of them actually switching advisors, but that jumps to almost 16% for those households that don't own segregated funds. I call this the 50% factor. That's the advantage to you for incorporating segregated funds even more actively into the portfolio recommendations that you make. 50%. 50% more referrals and 50% more stickiness of assets and clients. And by the way, we sell mutual funds too, offering the same value in quality asset selection, portfolio construction, and performance if guarantees aren't as important to you as they may be to your clients. As people age, and in particular, as women age, they become more and more concerned about the threat of outliving their money. They become concerned about long-term care expenses and being a burden on their families, especially their children. Statistically, they outlive men and develop chronic conditions that impact their quality of life, their standard of life, and their ongoing ability to do what they want to do, when they want to do them, and how long they want to or are able to do those things. They are far less interested in the hottest stock tip of the month or the performance of their investments than what their money can allow them to do for their families, their communities, and favored causes. Their focus tends to be longer term and for justifiable reasons. It makes sense then that having a solid foundation and comprehensive income plan is important. Making the execution and maintenance of that plan easier for them as they age and for the people that may need to step in to manage things for them are highly viewed by women. Now, men may feel the same way about the assets that they will likely be managed, controlled, and eventually passed on to their aging female partners. Recognize that financial decisions impact people. They often involve getting advice from others, and the conversations, circumstances, and coordination may well change as people progress through the various phases of what we still call retirement, but what I like to call financial independence. This drives the need for ongoing engagement, as pointed out in the senior strategy developed by the Ontario Securities Commission in March of 2018. Well, how much retirement income do you want guaranteed for life? Three-quarters of women and just over 6 in 10 men think guaranteed lifetime income should cover essential living expenses. Women rank guaranteed lifetime income as important at all stages of retirement. This again from the 2018 Canadian Guaranteed Lifetime Income Study. Let's consider two historical sources of guaranteed lifetime income: defined benefit pension plans and government benefits. One challenge is that the number of people covered by defined benefit pension plans, where the amount that retirees will get is set for life, continues to drop. We can have a lively debate over the long-term viability of government retirement benefits. The growing issues are that people may not be eligible for these benefits. They may not get the maximum amounts, or they may have those benefits clawed back depending on how much other reportable income they have. That means coordinating and reviewing those other sources of income to ensure that people can optimize government benefits to which they feel entitled. If people want a base of guaranteed income, they may have to supplement or replace those other guaranteed sources of income with other vehicles that can provide something similar. More people are building and relying on personal investments. One problem may be that those other sources of income may be volatile, and more people are invested in volatile investments, whether they know it or not. They need to plan for the unexpected and for that volatility and unpredictability. How much retirement income do you want guaranteed? I'm not a big fan of rules of thumb. I spend so much time sharing research on why these rules of thumb don't work and why people, especially aging women, don't like them. That's why I say it depends. Advisors need to find out how much for a particular client. Suffice to say, essential living expenses that are must-haves, not nice-to-haves, are often matched with guaranteed income. That is to say, if the expenses are steady and guaranteed to be there, then match them up with guaranteed income. And if those expenses last a lifetime, then so should the income source and the income stream. The amount varies by stage in retirement, life events, the amount of total income producing assets, risk tolerance, longevity, company defined benefit pension plans, partners, income sources and types, the ability to make your own decisions, the amount of government benefits. What about the amount and complexity of ongoing investment decisions, market volatility, and a need for liquidity? You listen to all of that, and then you start looking for a cookie cutter approach. If you're looking for a cookie cutter approach, it's the questions you ask, not the products you offer. Focus on process, not percentage. Your call to action is finding out and revisiting what's important to clients along the way and setting up the appropriate amount of guaranteed lifetime income to support it. Which brings me to the 90% factors. Retirement income, as you found out, is what most Canadians want. What do I mean by the 90% factors? 97% want predictable income. 90% are willing to contribute more to insure it. 98% want a lifetime income, and 91% are willing to pay more to guarantee this. They are willing to pay more to guarantee this. Think about that when I go through some later slides. People don't want to risk losing this and risk making mistakes, especially when it comes time to covering their fixed expenses. They're must-haves. As we age, there's less room for error because there's less room for recovery. There's less time for recovery. There's less stomach for recovery. Think about cognitive abilities, sensory impairment, sight and hearing, access to pertinent knowledge, if only physical, including social isolation, increased the ratio of fixed versus variable expenses due to reductions in lifestyle freedom and the ability to move about. Then there is the time to recover from losses in assets and the value of those assets, losses in income stream, the death of a partner, payments that cease after a certain number of years. What about extraordinary expenses, which reduce investable assets that are generating the income stream? And then there's returns that are lower than planned in the early years of withdrawal or negative returns in the early years of withdrawal. Referenced to as sequence of returns risk, something I cover off in a topic entitled just that. And a combination of these things could be occurring. With less room for error, guarantees naturally become much more desirable. Product type options should not be positioned as an either or decision, but rather how much of each depending on objectives, stage of life, personal circumstances, and preferences. This is a key anchor in discussions, plans, and programs about retirement income planning. We need to stop putting up hard and fast choices if we are all to benefit from the power that each type of income producing vehicle can bring and to offset the drawbacks that each has. Benefits and drawbacks can change depending on where people are in their lives, what's happening to them, and what's happening around them. Combination approaches may well optimize retirement income planning in general, providing flexibility, diversification, and solutions for all of a client's needs and wants in providing guaranteed lifetime income. Certain strategies lend themselves to particular products well. Consider income tax on cash flows from investable assets, from government programs and company benefits, if any. The focus should be on spendable cash flow and cash flow that is regular, reliable, and responsive to particular needs for guaranteed income that may be needed for a lifetime, though that may not have been the case originally. In looking at options for pensionizing personal assets, let's start with the more commonly used and recommended ones. The first three are the ones that advisors seem to be more comfortable with recommending and that retirees hear about much more frequently. Withdrawing interest, dividends, and capital, and taking that money from GICs, segregated funds, or mutual funds. And two, systematic withdrawal plans from segregated funds or mutual fund portfolios. Options 1 and 2 require ongoing maintenance and decision making for retirees. They are hard to put on autopilot and structure as worry-free, maintenance-free, simple to handle solutions. If clients were truly satisfied that these first two options, on top of Series T mutual funds number 3, which offers a tax-efficient return of capital first, if they were concerned or they were satisfied that options 1, 2, and 3 would do the job, then why does research say otherwise? Why does research and continued efforts by governments and think tanks come up with ideas that create more lifetime guaranteed income and that don't use these three approaches? Their focus is on the type of income that the next two items provide. A personal pension plan, which is maintenance free, offers guaranteed lifetime income, and we know that in our industry as an annuity. Or number 5, a guaranteed withdrawal benefit plan offered on the chassis of a segregated fund. I've already pointed out two issues that can be another call to action for advisors. Consumers don't hear much about how these two options work, namely numbers 4 and 5. They, along with a number of advisors, have a predisposition to dislike these options, even though they don't know how, when, or how well they can fulfill a client's checklist of ideal solutions. They choose the apparent easy way and build a program that is more difficult to administer when trying to generate lifetime income, let alone have it guaranteed for life. The solutions they choose for guaranteed and variable income are the same. Therein lies the flaw. Now, all insurance-based investments have contractual guarantees and deposit protection coverage. Each one, of course, has benefits and drawbacks. And then there's the issue of fees. When you look at insurance-based investments, you need to understand and explain fees and costs. Fees aren't necessarily higher. The fees may be higher for insurance-based investments, but the overall costs may in fact be lower. With most investments, the responsibility to track and report capital gains and losses falls to the investor. Certain transactions that contribute to an increase in the adjusted cost base may be missed. So non-registered investors, including small businesses, can end up paying additional capital gains taxes unnecessarily or get audited. With segregated funds, the insurance company keeps track of each unit holder's adjusted cost base. When units are redeemed, a company like Empire Life will calculate the realized gain or loss and report this on the investor's T3 tax form. There's no need to spend time tracking adjusted cost base or pay an accountant to do it. The alternative to segregated funds presents complexity and higher fees. Think about the underlying costs of tracking and reporting for dollar cost averaging or tranching strategies. And unlike mutual funds, guaranteed investment funds can flow net capital losses through to the investor. The investor can apply the losses from guaranteed investment funds against other capital gains in the same year or carry back those losses for up to 3 years. This unique feature creates additional tax planning opportunities. Work that to your advantage as an advisor into the idea of investing in a greater proportion of equity-based funds due to consumer confidence in the underlying guarantees. These investments are protected under assurance, an important benefit when there are concerns about the stability or viability of a company holding your investments. The Empire Life Insurance Company is a member of Assurance, which of course is the not-for-profit organization that protects Canadian policyholders in the event their life insurance company fails. Details about Assurance protection are available at www.assurance.ca or by calling the Assurance Information Center on the toll-free line. These investments, guaranteed investment funds, lock in gains on investment funds, and make for simpler reporting for income taxes, saving you time, headaches, and costs. Properly set up, the proceeds of insurance-based investments may bypass probate on death and offer privacy. They are paid directly to named beneficiaries. Distributions may be customized, lump sum, periodic payments, or combinations of the two to deal with unique concerns. There is even the potential for creditor protection, particularly important for business owners. These features speak to considerations on risk, volatility, peace of mind, simplicity, privacy, predictability, and quality. Those factors I talked about earlier in the session. Built-in costs offset and may be far less than the extra costs involved in tax preparation, drawing up legal documents, and dealing with an estate and its distribution to replicate the benefits offered through insurance-based investments. That's why these features may be very attractive and beneficial to investors. For more information, please watch the webinar, Why Segregated Funds, and pick up the Step Up Companion newsletter. Let's look at income tax considerations. When used in registered retirement plans, the income from all these products is fully taxable as ordinary income. And again, as a planning point, Series T mutual funds should not be used in registered products since the benefits of the products are lost. This is true whether we are talking about registered retirement savings plans, registered retirement income funds, or tax-free savings accounts. Let's compare these products in non-registered setups. For guaranteed interest contracts, interest is taxable whether it's withdrawn or not. The eligible portion of the the interest coming out of a guaranteed interest contract issued by an insurance company is eligible for the pension credit and income splitting at age 65 and over. When we look at guaranteed investment funds, interest, of course, is fully taxable, but there may not be much interest. And there may not be much on dividends as well, depending on how you invest, because we use the most inefficient taxable income to offset and pay for the management expense ratios. There's reduced taxes, of course, on dividends, on realized capital gains, and of course, losses are carried and passed on through to the investor. And there's no tax on return of capital. With Series T mutual funds, you are taxed on the realized growth annually. The return of capital payments are tax-free, and they're weighted to the front end of the income stream payouts. With an annuity, again, non-registered basis, you're taxed on the interest portion only, and that taxable amount is fixed for life. With guaranteed withdrawal benefit plans, interest, of course, is fully taxed. There's reduced taxes on dividends and realized capital gains and losses, and of course, no tax on return of capital. Now, this information may be quite familiar to you, but here's the takeaway. Studies have shown that pre- and post-retirees want and need to know the income tax implications and penalties associated with their investments. Only about half get this information from their advisors. And this comes from two studies. One, the NGAM survey of 500 Canadian investors completed in April of 2017, and two, the use of advisors pre- and post-retirement in Canada, published by the Life Insurance Marketing Research Association in 2016. Again, the focus on income should be on net cash flow, not gross income. That can materially change the effectiveness of certain products and strategies, the comfort level with some of these strategies, and get people to understand what the tax implications are of the various strategies that they're looking at. Now, how and when can you use these products on a non-registered basis? The trend we are seeing is that a growing percentage of the assets that people will rely on and need to rely on to generate income later in life will not come from government benefits or company benefits. It will come from non-registered assets and investments. Let's consider some applications for non-registered investments offered by an insurance company instead of a financial institution like a bank or a credit union. With guaranteed interest contracts, you get to preserve the capital. Monies can be very conservatively invested. They're cashable. You can take advantage of a pension credit at age 65 on the interest portion, and you can use them as part of a laddering concept for flexibility. Guaranteed investment funds can be set up to provide systematic withdrawals as needed or withdraw fixed amounts. You can have stop and go options on those income streams, and of course, they're cashable. With Series T mutual funds, there is a fixed percentage withdrawal. Again, there are stop and go options available to you. There's increased net cash flow in the early years because it's tax-free. You're getting a return of your capital in the early years, and of course, they're cashable. With an annuity, you get guaranteed level income as an individual or even for a survivor. You can stagger contracts to optimize returns and flexibility. In other words, ladder your annuities like you would ladder your GICs. And you can use them as part of an insured annuity strategy where the invested amount can be replaced via a life insurance legacy. And finally, we have guaranteed withdrawal benefits that offer a guaranteed percentage of income, guaranteed for life by contract. The percentage increases with time. There are stop and go measures. You may withdraw fixed amounts, and of course, these are also cashable. Arguably, all of these products can be structured to provide guaranteed income, but only two can provide contractually guaranteed lifetime income: a personalized pension plan style income via an annuity and a guaranteed withdrawal benefit plan. Used in combination, they can address the expectations of retiring individuals and their families. In fact, in combination, you can optimize the benefits and advantages of both and minimize the downsides that each one of them may have. Speak with our investment wholesaler about case scenarios and product applications that can satisfy a variety of needs for people at different stages in their lives. They can show you how to put ideas into action. Alternatively, take in the webinar Guaranteed Lifetime Income in Action, which goes through a series of case studies showing where certain products may fit into the plans you build to generate the type of income aging Canadians want. That session takes a deeper look at how we can help you help your clients generate guaranteed lifetime income. Remember, most Canadians want retirement income. The 90% factors tell us that people want predictable income. They are willing to contribute more to ensure it. They want a lifetime income, and they are willing to pay more to guarantee a secure lifetime retirement income. People do not want to risk losing these four things and risk making mistakes. As we age, there's less room for error and less time for recovery. Guarantees naturally become more desirable. Be sure to take in the session When Order Leads to Disorder, Sequence of Returns Risk and Retirement Income. It takes a deep look at one of the major risks in retirement income planning. Remember, this business, your business, our business, is about minimizing risk and providing peace of mind. Here are some closing thoughts. Aging Canadians want and value guaranteed lifetime income in addition to government benefits. They expect advisors to inform them of the options and how they can address their concerns and help fulfill their plans. Yes, the entire cash flow out may not need to be guaranteed. It's important to allow for flexibility to adapt to changing circumstances and changing priorities. It's equally important to allow for growth in the overall portfolio to deal with longevity and potential needs for higher cash flow or lump sum cash requirements far down the road. Don't forget about the other strategies that form part of comprehensive retirement income planning. Speak with our account executives about this in-depth program and the resources available to select advisors. Again, what we're sharing is that there is no one right way or one right product that can do all things. There are certainly pitfalls we want to avoid and opportunities we want to create and take advantage of. Combination programs frequently work best. The focus here is on that much valued base of guaranteed lifetime income upon which you stack other income producing options and strategies. I trust that what I've shared with you today will guide you on your retirement income trips with clients, keeping you both safe and secure while optimizing retirement income needs and satisfying your clients' goals. That brings us to a companion presentation on some case studies and applications using two products that don't seem to get enough airtime in conversations and educational sessions with clients. Once again, be sure to watch it on demand, Guaranteed Lifetime Income in Action.